How's it going out there, YouTube? My name is Jesse, and I am the curator for the Golden Age, and this is another
Lost Heroes of the Golden Age.
Yes, this is another Lost Heroes of the Golden Age, and this time we are doing
Timely Months.
I am perfectly capable of telling everybody what month we have moved into.
I'm sure you can.
The condescending conversation aside, we are doing a hero that wasn't popular, and I had to search through some comic books to find him.
Make it a hurricane before I...
Stop singing! And this hero doesn't have anything to do with alcohol. Yes, the hero we are doing is Hurricane. And I'm not sure if he was originally supposed to be Hurricane. They make him look and act a lot like Mercury, the god of speed. In fact, the Marvel Wiki says the first premiere of Hurricane is actually in Mercury, and I explained this in the opener, but I don't think that Hurricane and Mercury are the same person, and I outlined the reasons why in the opener. Now, this is a guy who's, besides the power of speed, his other powers aren't really well defined. Apparently, he has the ability to take his wings off from his helmet, his helmet, I assume, and put it on others to either give them the ability of speed and or flight. And that's in a couple of episodes. He kind of has some other powers, but they never really went into that. It was mostly having to do with speed. Now, he did start off battling in a supernatural sense, and then he went with what all heroes do in the Golden Age, was fighting street level thugs and bad guys, people who are out for themselves only. But he didn't fight any fifth columnists or any Nazis, which was kind of strange because he premiered in the Captain America comic. It would have been a perfect follow-up to Captain America to have him fighting Nazis or fifth columnists. So it's kind of weird that he never did. But I'm not a big fan of the outfit. I don't like trunks on, trunks only in the Golden Age. Like I said, I go a lot more into the opener, why I don't think him and Mercury are the same people, and just what I think needs to be covered about him in general. And then, of course, the first issue that he premieres in, which I believe is the first issue, because, like I said, I believe he is Hurricane, not Mercury. So, let's get into this. Hurricane first appeared in Captain America Comics #1 in 1940. The publisher was Timely. He was created by Martin A. Bernstein, Jack Kirby, Joe Simon, and Lou Cazavinu. I'm probably butchering that. Cazeneuve. Correct me if you would like to. Now, I'm going out on a limb. There was Mercury, who came out first in the Red Raven comic books in May of 1940, and Hurricane wouldn't come out until Captain America Comics #1 in December of 1940. I've read both of these stories, and I'm going to go against the Marvel Wikipedia and say that I do not believe these were the two same people. The Pantheon is different, the outfits are completely different, and he never once is referred to as Mercury in any way in the Hurricane comics, but he is referred to as Mercury in the Red Raven comics, where he first appeared in the story of Mercury. So I'm going to go against the Marvel Wiki and say that Hurricane and Mercury are two different people. That being said, Hurricane is really interesting. In the first appearance, he has his outfit, which I'll describe when he enters in the winged helmet, or the winged band. It wasn't actually a helmet, it was a band with wings on it. Blue mask, gloves, trunks, and his boots. But later on, he does not have the mask or the gloves anymore. Why they got rid of the gloves, I don't know. The mask was superfluous because he wasn't anybody in a civilian identity. I think sometimes he went by Harry Kane, you see. But other than that, he didn't have a civilian identity that needed to be protected. Now, he was extremely fast, and occasionally he was able to call down powers of thunder, but he only did that maybe once or twice. They didn't want to focus that on being his main power. They wanted to focus on his power being speed, which after the first couple of issues and after he fought Pluto, he clashed with Pluto, which is weird because Hurricane is Greek, Pluto is Roman. That's another reason why I don't think that Mercury and Hurricane are the same person, because in the Red Raven comics, Mercury is referred to as part of the Roman pantheon, but in the Captain America comics #1, he is referred to as the son of Thor, the god of thunder. That is another reason why I don't think these are the same people. But they did not want to focus on thunder powers. They wanted to focus on speed. He uses his speed to fight Pluto, and some people that might have been influenced by Pluto at first, but then they turn him into what most heroes were doing at that time, and fighting street-level thugs, extortionists. He didn't fight anything related to the Nazis or the Fifth Columnists. He basically just fought people that did not have America's best interests at heart, that did not have to do anything with the war. Now, in his last 4 episodes, he would come to the aid of a owner of a cigar shop, and he would end up becoming his partner, Speedy, for 4 episodes, for 4 issues, all the way until Hurricane was no longer being printed. But it was silly. I don't know why they felt for 4 issues that he needed to have a fat bumbling sidekick under the name that sort of represents the powers of the character. But that was something of the time back then. Now, later on, Hurricane would be retconned in 1976 to be, I think it's Marakai or Markakai. He would be the speed person as part of the Eternals, who I believe in the movie was a female, but he was a male in the comics. But that was the 1970s. That's not Golden Age at all. So we're going to go ahead and cover what I believe to be the first appearance of Hurricane, because it's the first time he is referred to as Hurricane, and you can kind of see what they were going to go through if he had lasted more than, I believe it was 11 issues. I will check on that. It was the Captain America #1 to Captain America #11. They said that the Eternals made an appearance in Tales of Suspense #7 in 1959, which would be the tail end of... I don't really know if 1959 is Golden Age or Silver Age. People have never really come to a consensus on that. But then after that, he would be the Eternal. And we don't cover retcons. We cover what appeared in the Golden Age. So let's go over his first appearance. You could have seen what they started with. A little bit of a change as he moved forward. Like I said, they got rid of the mask and the gloves. I think getting rid of the mask was a good choice. They didn't need to get rid of the gloves. And so let's go over Hurricane. No real origin story to speak of. No cover appearances, no feature appearances. I don't even think he was mentioned on the cover. If I hadn't been just flipping through the pages of Captain America, I never would have found him. Well, let's get into it. Hurricane, son of Thor, god of thunder, and the last descendant of the ancient Greek immortals, returns to Earth to fight his ancestral enemy, Pluto, the devils whose horrible crimes have almost ruined civilization. Whoa, hold up. There's so much wrong with this. First of all, I gone over some Greek mythology, and Hurricane is not the son of Thor. Anyway, number one. Number two, you've got Greek, Roman, and Christianity all mixed into the same thing. If he was really the descendant of Thor, he'd be going after Hades, not Pluto. Pluto is the god. I've gone over gods. Pluto is a Roman god, and the Allfather for that would be Jupiter. And the devil is Christianity. None of the gods of the underworld ever refer to themselves as devils. I mean, it's just, there's so much wrong with that. How did you make that kind of a mistake? Greek, Roman, and Christianity all in the same thing. Do you want to throw some Celtic or Egyptian in there while you're at it? Anyways, in Mortal Guise, Hurricane visits Coast City, the scene of several brutal killings. I hate arrows. I hate arrows. I don't need arrows. But when you do your paneling stupid like this, you have to have arrows, which I didn't think Timely Comics did. Cousin's Pluto hand reaches everywhere. He'll release Coast City when I'm finished signing his claws? I think you spelled that wrong. Okay, anyways, Hurricane hails himself a cab, which is really, really confusing because he's got speed. He can move at supersonic speeds. Why does he need a cab? Maybe it's because he doesn't know where he's going. Maybe that's why he needs a cab. Anyways, he hails himself a cab, and he says he wants to know how fast he can take him to his destination. That's got to be the only thing I can think of. He doesn't know where he's going. That was be the only reason he hails the cab. So as the cab is going down the road, he says that 80 miles an hour is crawling speed. I'm sure she can do better than a crawling 80. Okay. 80 miles an hour is crawling. I guess I don't know how fast 80 actually is. So he takes out his wings that he's able to give other things his wings. It's weird. But he puts the wings on the outside of the cab, and this thing starts flying at speeds. Let's see, suddenly the cab surges wildly ahead. It is transformed into a veritable comet. Speed is rendered too inadequate a word to describe its velocity. And at one point, we see him flying over a cop and a crowd of people. This is a little less crowded, don't you think? I've quit thinking, brother. I'm praying. So he finally reaches his destination, and the cabbie is just completely shaken up. And he's like, "Hey, I'm going to tell all my friends about you." He's like, "Yeah, okay." And he says that the symbol on the cab has lived up to its name, which it says the Hurricane Cab Company. So as the cabbie speeds off, he's approached by a couple of violent people. We know they're violent because they got guns drawn on him. And they think that he's a cop at first by the way he's dressed, until they take the hat off and sees that he's got curly blonde hair. And he's like, "Yeah, this guy ain't no cop." And at a blistering speed that can only be seen as a blur, which is the representation we get here, he takes out the gunman because he wants to see Piggy Pepperoni. Okay, I just looked it up real quick, and from pronunciation.com it says pepperoni. So his name is Piggy Pepperoni. Okay, so Hurricane meets in with him and wants to make it look like he's a bad guy too, and he wants to get, it's like Mike Curley's the name. "Piggy, I'm tough, fast, and short on dough. Chuck Lewis says you can help me pick up some change." So since he's got a name that he recognizes, he decides to sit him down. This guy's got like 3 chins, I swear. He has another associate show up. His name is Dum Dum, which, okay. So he sits there and listens long enough Dum Dum shows up, grabs a gun, and sits there and listens long enough to hear what the next hit job is going to be. And that was all that Hurricane needed to be able to sprint into action. Hurricane, enraged at Piggy's callous order, jolts the mobsters out of his chair as Mike Curley is transformed into Hurricane, master of the storm. And we see him in his entire getup. I'm not a fan of his getup. As I've stated in many of my videos, I hate short shorts. There is no reason that he couldn't be in a full pair of pants. So, this is his outfit. He's got a band with wings on his head, gloves, trunks, and leggings that go up to about thigh high. I know this was very common for heroes early on. I mean, Toro dressed the same way, but it's just, I don't like the outfit. Anyways, he shows that he's a hero, and he attacks them, and Dum Dum tries to take a shot at him, and Hurricane acts as the speed of light as his hazy streaking form easily avoids Dum Dum's close-range fire. Dum Dum gasps in amazement. And then he knocks out Dum Dum, and he approaches Piggy. I'm glad we're going to be done with him, because saying his name Piggy is just, it seems offensive somehow. Your hands drip with mortal blood. You've made thriving business out of the foulest crimes man can commit, Piggy. The punishment awaiting you will never end, Piggy, not even after the chair. You really just wanted to cement his name, didn't you? Okay, so meanwhile, in his office, Police Commissioner Reagan braves the bombardment of criticism pouring from the lips of the impatient prosecutor Nelson. So Nelson is talking about how he wants Piggy to be brought in for justice, but for some reason it seems like the commissioner doesn't want to bring him in for some reason. I'll tell you what we're doing all we can. We're not magicians. You can't expect me to make passes and have him come flying through the window. Ha ha ha, because at that very minute he flies through the window. I don't know if the commissioner was complicit in some way, but it seemed like he was reluctant to go after Piggy. Maybe he had too many men or didn't want a hit put on him. He comes literally flying through the window with the wings on him, and as soon as the commissioner and prosecutor get closer, the wings disappear, which shows you that other things can be given wings. So Piggy gets thrown through the window, and they're in amazement about how this whole thing could have happened. Okay, so they're interrogating Piggy, and as he talks, Hurricane shows up at their Vanderport estate. I think I'll crash their masquerade ball tonight. I'd like to see one of their guests, Paul Shaden. Okay, so as the masquerade party goes on, a guy dressed in what only appears to be a red archer's outfit shows up. Mr. Paul Shaden. And what we're going to realize is, if you can't already tell by the look of him, Paul Shaden is Pluto. Yes, the Roman devil to a Greek hero. The entrance of the tall, majestic figure in crimson visibly startles the swaying sea of merrymakers. Let's dance, honey. Gosh, this man's makeup makes my flesh creep. Now, he has an assistant that's dressed up in what looks like a green squire outfit. And let's see, confidently Trigger, I am in their real article. Yes, Trigger, I'm somewhat of a joker. Unfortunately, my humor is rarely anticipated except by you boys. And while he thinks nobody is looking, he's adding poison to the punch bowl. And him and Trigger are talking about how it'll be a very lethal Mickey. Hurricane overhears it and he says, I think it's time that I join in the fun. I hope Pluto won't find my brand of humor too distasteful. So the Hurricane, okay, he transforms himself into a costume, which seemed unnecessary because he's already in a superhero getup. Oh, I did forget to mention that his superhero getup comes with a blue mask, which is completely unnecessary because he doesn't have an alternate identity. Not really. Not anything that they would know. He comes up shown dressed as an angel, which it just throws the whole mythology into just a big ball of ugh. So as he gets closer, he does recognize him. Hurricane, you meddling fool. Oh, Gabriel's the name. I'm one of St. Peter's boys, and I've been sent to fight the devil. Alas, Paul Satan. Alas, the big guys. Know him, Pluto? I thought you were the son of Thor. How are you one of the servants of how are you Gabriel? A servant of the angels. That's Christianity. There is no Gabriel in Roman, Greek, Egyptian, Celtic. Gabriel is Christianity. Why are you throwing that in there? Okay. His costume vanishes and the minion fires at him. And as we already learned, Hurricane can move with a speed that he won't be hit by bullets. He's too fast. A thunderous roar fills the great ballroom. Terrified socialists find themselves witnessing a battle not meant for mortal eyes. So a lot of people watching this battle going on is overwhelming their senses and causing them to go unconscious. And we see Pluto and Hurricane, I can't believe that that's even being done in a comic book, clash. As the two titans clash with each other, the entire universe seems to explode with the impact of the two colossal figures. Meanwhile, the mortal spectators cringe and tremble as a titanic struggle rages with the fury of thunderous thunderstorms. Because Hurricane has that power. Okay, just then, the DA's office and his men show up because that's where Peggy said that the assassination was going to happen at the Vanderpoint estate. Vanderpoint. That's got to be a common name in the Golden Age. I have seen that pop up more than once. In fact, when we did Nightmare, I believe it was the first issue, they actually had to deal with the Vanderports, I believe. Or something so similar that the name registers in my head. So the DA's office bursts in and they see Hurricane there. He's like, no need for shooting. I'm afraid you won't find Paul Sheridan in there. He's gone. Gone back to, well, he won't return. You'll find his trigger Bates. He's dead. Last of the murder mob. Forget about Sheridan. It's better so. I must go now. I'm weak. And the battle took a lot out of him, and the devil was going around as Paul Sheridan. He's like, don't worry about him. He's gone. Okay, so he looks like he's weak, and then he bursts out of the house in a blurry shape, speeds past startled police commissioner, and disappears from view. Apparently he wasn't so weak that he couldn't go out there like a bolt of lightning. Okay, let's read the last two panels. Later, X Street, really? Get your paper. Murder mob crush. Peggy It's gotta be Peroni. To die in chair. Trigger Bates found dead. X Street. Daily Star. Murder mob crushed. And it looks like Peggy Peroni. The text below that is so hard to read. That should close your case, Reagan. Yet somehow this queer, fantastic side of it still baffles me. Maybe it isn't meant for us to understand. The gang is smashed. The case is closed. Don't miss Hurricane's further adventures in the next exciting issue. And that's the start of Hurricane. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. I kind of accidentally found this character. This is just the start of Timely Month. Hopefully I can bring some characters that you either haven't heard of or unfamiliar with. If there is somebody that you'd like to see in Timely Comic Books while we do this for the month of June, go ahead and leave me a comment. I have no problem with doing other Timely characters besides the one that I have chose. There's plenty to choose from, believe me. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.